Good evening. Hello, hello, and blessings to you. Blessings to each of you. All right, let me take a quick look at the announcements here. So, number of things going on. Our next online retreat will be November 7th through the 9th, 2025. And then we'll have an in-person retreat that I'm planning in Washington State, January 15th through the 18th, something like that. And we'll be at the Shivananda Ashram in the Bahamas, March 29th through April 2nd. I'd love to say the details for everything are on my website, but the only thing on the website right now is the Bahamas. But the rest of the stuff, I'll get it put up sometime soon. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, just give me a week or so to get all that information on the website. Okay. Okay. I just want to share with y'all just from a place of just pure joy and fun. I was out this weekend in Cane Creek in Moab, Utah, and I climbed this big boy, like this big, beautiful tower with an old friend of mine. And it was just the most wild, epic adventure ever. And yeah, I'll probably post a little YouTube short about it or something, share some pictures. Sometimes I sprinkle some of the pictures of my rock climbing adventures on the Satsang videos. So anyways, it's really important for me to get outside in nature. I think it's important for all of us humans to spend time just outside. And for me, like I always have a great excuse to go outside. I have great friends and they take me on these big, huge, wild adventures. This last one, was borderline an expedition. It was an expedition for me. It was just a huge, huge multi-pitch climb. And I love it. I love being physical in my body. One of the things that being physical does is it gets us out of our heads. And it gets us out of our, what I'll call it our confused emotional nature. Because so many of us in the modern age, we don't spend any time being physical. So we absolutely neglect a huge aspect of being human. And when we neglect the body, well, it actually supports us in living in a state of unreality. Let me see if I can fill that in a little bit. That a lot of folks are just in their head all day. Like if you ever had a friend, or maybe it's you, who've played video games all day long. Or, I've worked with a lot of individuals who've been addicted to video games or been addicted to, I wanted to say Tinder, but to Twitter, to Z, to X, to whatever it is. Addicted to this stream of just this virtual reality of just information being spit at them, this stimulus, that comes across the screen. And when we're not in our body, or when we live in this kind of upper mental area, it has a part of the upper vital where it's disconnected from our strength, from our power. It drives a lot of us like quite mad. It's one of the reasons why so many individuals have anxiety disorders in the modern age, and depression as well, because it's very hard to be depressed when we're out moving our body. And there's this thing that happens when we are in nature. It's like awareness very easily wakes up in the bottoms of our feet. in our hands, in our face, on the back of the skull, all along the spine. Because when we are in nature, we are alert and we're open. You have to be. You have to be, because there's, real life danger. And I don't even mean so much like a lot of times I get in real life danger with bear and mountain lions and like this weekend rattlesnakes and that kind of stuff. But there's real life danger just in the sense that you could like trip over a stick, a root. There's all kinds of people that are living in the virtual reality. They get up on the edge of the Grand Canyon and they do this thing. Oh, I'm gonna take a picture of myself. And then I shouldn't laugh. It's a terrible thing to laugh. And then they, go falling off. But when you're in nature, it, in a sense, I don't want to say it forces up, but we just naturally open. We naturally open. And I don't even care, if we live in a city. We live in a city, let's open to the sky. And let's open to the earth. And let's open to all the people around us. And something just about being out and walking around that all of a sudden wakes everything up, unless we are walking like this, which some people do. And it's an amazing thing to me. I've friends who are riding bikes and they're like scrolling. I'm like, my God, that's a skill, but that's a skill I don't want to develop. But when we're in nature, when we're fully unplugged, all of a sudden we begin to see the hugeness of the sky. And when we see the hugeness of the sky, it can be just like something we witness, like, oh, wow, look at that. That's beautiful. But of course, on the spiritual path, in the space of satsang, the invitation is to look at the sky and to see yourself looking back at you. To look at the sky and see, experience directly your consciousness expanding and becoming the sky. That's why so many people feel just such a joy when they're outside. Such a joy. I'm sorry, my Facebook gives me such a hard time with the feed. I don't know what it is. It just will just stop working all of a sudden. But anyways, we're here. We made it. I'm going to invite us right now to close our eyes. And I invite you to feel into, to experience the dark expanse within. And sometimes people, throughout history, we've had a real negative connotation with the word darkness. But with the eyes closed, there's a warm darkness, a radiant darkness. It might be kind of purple or red or brown. For some of you who are really lit up, it might be really bright inside. But to be able to feel into this radiant darkness, and to feel its subtle beauty, its subtle goodness. And can you come to recognize that this beauty, this goodness is the fabric of your being? This immense fabric that doesn't have a problem. And when I say it doesn't have a problem, it's this space of awake, radiant darkness is timeless. It's eternal. It's beyond the human character, the human dance, whatever the story is, whatever the personality is, the role. It's beyond all that. And to really just feel into this radiant darkness, to feel, to experience, to listen. And as we listen, even though it's so utterly silent, there's this fundamental aliveness here, a warmth. And this quality of goodness, of goodness. It's a goodness that has an immense mystery to it. I think we don't have to perform to be good. We don't have to prove ourselves. We don't have to do something special or this or that. There's this innate goodness. And can we open into this goodness? Can we know ourselves as this? And again, it can be almost like a funny place to land. So many of us are so used to being a somebody, a something, this or that. I'm working through this kind of thing or that thing. Or sometimes we have these wars, these fights in our head. I'm sober, I'm not sober, I'm this, I'm that. I'm good, I'm not good. But this space of radiant darkness is free of all that dance of duality, all that dance of confusion. And to allow yourself, just for a moment, to experience just this basic truth. I am okay. I am good. I'm immense, spacious, radiant. And so is all of life. So is all of life. So unfortunate. There's many of us here that our internet feeds just tell us life is bad, life is no good, you can't trust. Someone's bad, we got to get them. All that silliness. But can we simply open now? And as we open, I invite you to listen to the depth of your being and to invite the depth of you to show you what the truth is. What is the truth? Who actually am I? Am I the story, the character? Or am I this quiet immensity? Who wears the costume of whoever? Of Aaron or Taylor or Terry or Chris or Greg or whoever. Am I this immensity? And What if we play with that? What is it like just to be this vast radiant darkness? What is that like? What is that like? We all know what the human is like. What happens to your consciousness when you simply listen without an agenda, without fear, but listening, just the art of listening, the art of being open. Because listening is always open. Listening doesn't shut down. You can never not listen. It's always sounds come, arise, present themselves. We hear them. Sometimes people really struggle with awareness. Awareness is awake, always, already. And as we know ourselves as awareness primarily, like resting in a great, expansive, this open, radiant space of listening, of perceiving, of experiencing. And so we can notice the contents of our experience. But if we really want to arrive at satsang, if we want to arrive at the truth, can we pay attention to that which is listening? Can we listen to the sound of silence, the sound of openness? And as we do so, we might smile. We might smile. And so I'm going to invite you to take a couple more deep, full breaths. And I invite you to stay here, just in this state of listening, listening from openness. And to experience the freedom of being so simple. Being so simple. Just to sit with openness as openness. And just gently inviting that mind to relax, to calm, and let it know now, there's nothing we really need right here in this moment. It's a funny correlation between the more you open, the greater you listen as openness, the less you need. Struggles simply begin to fall away. And so you can gently open your eyes if you like. And I'm going to invite you all again to write something in the chat. Tell me how you're doing. You also ask a question, or you also raise your hand. But I'd like to hear from you. I want to see where you're at and what's been going on. And if there's a question or something you've been tripping over, I'm feeling really blank. I've spent so much time outside this month. September, I'm making it my um, just a big month for me to be outside. And most this month I've been up at, above 10,000 feet. And now I got down to 5,000 feet out in the desert. And it's funny because, it's been getting cold here in Colorado, and, there's been a couple of brushes with snow way up in the mountains. I was out in Moab yesterday, just getting cooked, just so cooked out in that hot sun. But wherever I am at, I'm connected to the sky. The thing I love about the sky is this huge, just direct experience of freedom. And I don't care where we're at. I've been in New York City and seen all those skyscrapers, all those people, the millions and millions of people in New York City being gobbled up in this immensity of space. I've been in the countless airports. I've been in Walmarts and Home Depots, supermercados, where I walk in and this space is here. This space is here. And space is it's a very funny thing to speak about because, just like fish, I assume fish don't understand water. They don't realize they're in water. Human beings don't realize that we are walking in space, breathing in space, that our body is made of space, that matter is made of space. And how about our mind? Our mind is literally made of space. And for so many of you, like I can see it, like I speak about space and you kind of like you get a little bored and distracted, like he's not really talking about anything. The problem with being on the spiritual path is if you want to be free, we have to realize ourselves as space. You have to allow yourself to be nobody. We have to be the opposite of a drama. Now, I'll tell you something that happened in my house the other night. I put my daughter to bed, and then I kind of, woke up and gathered myself. I fell asleep putting her to bed. That's how that works. And I wake up and I go to see where my wife is, and she's out here in the family room watching I'm going to butcher it. I'm going to call it the Golden Bachelor. I don't know if that's the right word for it. And I don't know if it's the Bachelor or the Bachelorette, but she's watching one of these shows, and it's an old timer, and he's got whatever 12 women to choose from or what. I don't, that's it. I just walk in the room and I see that show and I'm like, hell no. Like, I ain't watching this. There's no way, not a chance. Absolutely not. There is no way. I'm not even going to get near the couch. I'm going to start, yelling profanity. This is where I'm at. If you're playing The Bachelor in my company, it's like, no, I'm not getting involved with this situation. The situation I want to be involved with, hey, babe, let's go outside and let's lay here under the stars. And so on the spiritual path, as we mature, we'll find ourselves more and more moving away from drama, moving into nothingness. Some spiritual teachers, they do quite well just working this edge of we're spiritual and we're going to be rich and we're going to have our soulmate and we're going to have the biggest house ever. And we're going to have this and that and this, and it's all going to be great. And we're never going to feel uncomfortable. And, we're going to be a big famous somebody. We're going to be a yoga celebrity. I love that one. I love talking about the yoga celebrities. In true spirituality, we walk away and we allow ourselves to be empty. We're attracted to the empty. We're attracted to the nothing, the no thing. And so I I was up on this, this big wall, climbing this tower. And it's funny because like when I'm climbing, it's really hard. It's just incredibly hard. I'm proud of myself that I made it up. Wants to look it up. What was the tower called? The Abraxas Tower. The Abraxas Tower. Anyways, so I'm climbing the Abraxas Tower, and it's so hard, so physical. And when I get up, to get up on top of one pitch, I get a little chance to take a break. It's like, what's here? Great space and emptiness. And it's a space and emptiness that can receive everything, that is constantly receiving everything, constantly including, constantly allowing. The sky does not argue. And such a huge aspect of my experience is what we call in Buddhism a skylike mind. And I can remember just one day, it was just one wild day in my history where I was fully identified with my human self, fully identified with the character. I was going through a terrible divorce, a custody battle. I was just hemorrhaging money, hemorrhaging emotions, hemorrhaging just every aspect of my being. It was every aspect of my humanity was hemorrhaging. And I'm driving through this massive valley, San Luis Valley, and in Colorado here. And I look up at the sky and I'm grasping and trying to hold my life together. And that's what humans do. We're always trying to hold our life together, saying, I want, I need, I have to do this, I have to attend to, I need to fix this, I have to sort this out. All this type of dance that humans do. And I look up at the sky. And what does the sky say to me? Let go, surrender. And for once I said, okay, okay, okay. And with that, it was like a lightning bolt just shocked me and blew apart the identification with the human character. And there came this recognition. Oh, the mind is the sky. The sky is the mind. No separation. No separation, not two different things, not two different experiences, no inner, no outer. The sky is you. And so I encourage you all to meditate upon the sky, to allow yourself to merge into the sky. All your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions to empty out, to dance themselves out into the sky. The sky is the greatest therapist, the greatest therapist. It will listen and receive humbly, and it won't argue, it fight, won't do what I do, it won't poke at you and challenge you. It'll just sit there and listen and humbly receive and dissolve and empty. If you give it the time, the space, the opportunity, it'll gobble up all of your struggles. Now, the same could be true just with our inner consciousness, which again is the sky. No difference. If you sit and simply don't touch the thoughts, don't get involved, they will come and they will dissolve. They will fall away to the vast, spacious awareness of your skylike mind, your skylike presence. Every sage since the beginning of time has said, inner peace is within. It's within. It's not outside of ourselves. But it can be helpful to meditate on the sky. It can be helpful to meditate on the mountain. It can be, if you live in the city, it can be helpful to meditate like a mountain, staring at the sky. And just to play with it, just to play with this experience, and you'll find all kinds of things that you've struggled with greatly will begin to fall away, to fade away, to empty, to dissolve. Without any doing, without any pushing away, without any solving. Like everything will fall into place. Everything will fall into place. And so it's a great question is, do we know this? Do we experience this sky-like mind directly? Directly. Do we know it as our own self? Or are we still playing the game? I am the thoughts that I have in my head. I am my memories. You know, some of us are our blood sugar, like whatever our blood sugar is. If we've got a good blood sugar, we're happy. If it's low blood sugar, we're grumpy. You know, it's like that's what we are. We're just a collection of chemicals. Is that what we are? Or is there something much greater here? If we're going to be the greater thing, we have to be willing to put down the identification with the story, with the character. Now, I can tell you this, like this character, this human, I love being outside. I love being physical. I love rock climbing and all this kind of stuff and getting on top of things. But I can also just be outside and do nothing. It's funny because like yesterday I was probably doing one of the most challenging physical days of my life yesterday. And today I just laid in a I don't know what you call it, a lounger in the backyard. The same sky, the same vast mind. But I was doing something great and huge and epic, or doing nothing at all. Or doing nothing at all. I like to mix it up. I like to mix it up and do both. But sometimes as humans, we think, well, if I do the thing, I get the thing. If I don't do the thing, I don't get it. But on the spiritual path, it doesn't matter if our humanity has a good day or a bad day. I've had many terrible days this year. And just because my poor daughter had a number of surgeries and just we've had all kinds of tragedy this year. But the tragedy arose and was dramatic and wild and painful and intense within this space of the sky-like mind. And whatever the tragedies were, they came And eventually they healed, they dissolved, they emptied. And if we want to be free, we open to this hugeness and rest here. If we want to be human, you get involved in the drama and you just start commenting on it. That's what all like what the news is. Get involved with the daily drama and you just comment all about it. Charlie did this, Trump did that, Biden, Kamala, whatever. They did this, did that. Someone shot someone. Just get involved and start commenting. If we want to be free, we step way back. We step way back. But then the ego will say, well, how's the world going to heal? When you step way back and you allow yourself to listen to the silence, a greater intelligence arises. A greater intelligence than the intelligence of our human minds. Because our human minds, we all know what those do. It's tribalism. First it's like me-centric, then it's relationship-centric, then it's family-centric, then it might be state or community-centric, political party-centric, then our nation first. And that's where we're at here on planet Earth. And I saw, just for a brief moment, I didn't watch any of the news. I just saw, a little picture of Trump speaking at the UN, and a bunch of other people speaking at UN. It's just like, does anyone here have anything good to say? Is there anyone here going to figure out how to live peacefully? Are we just going to wear a mask of BS and just fight for our agenda? Like, that's where the world's at. Those of us on the spiritual path, we can step way back, step out of human consciousness and open into divine consciousness and see, oh, we can live in love. We can live in harmony. And here's how. And the how is not a new great political system. The how is we start with listening, with being open, with seeing our own pain and confusion, our own greediness, our own agitation, our own righteousness, and surrendering our righteousness, surrendering our confusion, surrendering our projections. And as we surrender this, we just naturally show up as a good, helpful, compassionate human being. Without a side, without I'm on the left, or I'm on the right, I'm this, I'm that. It's like, can you just be a good, kind human being? We cannot do that if we're busy trying to assert ourselves and get our agenda, forcibly passed on the rest of humanity or whatever it is. Get so lost in our way and our will, our assertiveness. And so what would your world be like? Your experience be like if you simply open and rest in openness? With all that stuff in the mind, just da 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 da. Why don't we just step away from that dance? And be the peace. Is that what Gandhi said? Something like that? Be the peace you want to see in the world. Like, be the love, be the light, be the peace you want to see in the world. So, anyways, okay. Um, let's see here what's in the chat. Johan, were you here? Did you have your hand up somewhere?
Yeah, there's, I mean, it kind of answered itself, the confusion that I'm experiencing, and should I go this direction or that direction? A lot of indecisiveness, and um, I think it's just like letting go of all of that.
Letting go. So, letting go of all of that. But, Johan, the second step is I want you given full attention in your heart or in your belly. I want you to see if you can find a voice in your heart or in your belly that is simple and direct and doesn't come with any argument. So what was the question? Should I go this way or that way? What's the this way or that way?
So I've been really having like I've been struggling with employment, and like, should I move to a different employment that is more sustainable and that is more that will support me in going in the direction I want to go. Uh, yeah, so I think I was sharing that the particular situation. I think that
Yeah,
you asked.
something about a job. You're thinking, should I switch jobs? So should I switch jobs that does something more in alignment with what I'm going to do in the future, or should I stay put doing what I'm doing?
Yeah, pretty much. And there's like money involved, the thing that I'm doing
Sure,
right
sure. No,
now.
and I want to stop with the details.
Yeah,
Now, if you go right into your belly, what does your belly say? Belly, not your head. One, two, three. What's the answer?
my belly says yes, but
Yes.
I don't know to what. It doesn't tell me what. So
Tell your belly, I want some more. Come on. Yes to what?
yes to this moment, yes to here, yes to
Okay,
satsang.
listen, I'll say yes to that. We're always saying yes to that. Yes to that. But come on now. What's the quick answer in your belly? You got to make a choice right now. No thinking, just your belly. What's the truth?
Try something different.
Try something different. Yeah. Okay, that's a start. What?
So I have a thought, like, there's a lot of cafes and restaurants around, and it would get me more in I guess it would, yeah, and that's
See,
something.
I think we're headed into the mind. I want to know what's in the belly. I
Ah,
want just the belly to speak.
is the mind involved at all? Like in bringing, like, how
I
does my
want you.
belly?
So, Johan, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you're a young, handsome fella, right? We can all agree upon this. Yeah. Taylor, do you agree here? Okay. He's giving two thumbs up. Okay. Young, handsome fella. All right. I assume you've fallen in love at some point along your journey, right?
Mhm.
Did you think about it?
No.
No. It was just like, boom. There's an
Okay.
energy here, a presence, a power, and intelligence that there's something here. There's some energy here. There's some connection. And then the mind's like, it means this and it means that. And we have to get married and we're supposed to do this. And that's where the mind goes. But the belly, the heart is just like, boom, this is it. This is it. This is the way. And it'll have a movement and intelligence.
Mm.
And so we're looking for that. I'm going to tell you a funny story, Johan. And I want you to kind of just sit with the feeling here, but I'm going to tell us all a funny story. So, often in the spring and the fall, I'm going to be telling you guys these stories about me out rock climbing. So, when I was young and I moved out here to Colorado, I met rock climbers. And the rock climbers I met were all jerks. They're just a bunch of I would like to use a lot of profanity here, but YouTube doesn't like it when I do that. But they were jerks. They were just they had their heads up their rear end. They were just guys who are so technical, so analytical. They were kind of nerdy and they were aloof and thought they were the best. And in like the outdoor sports, the other crew that's like this are road cyclists, whatever you call those people. They just think they're the best. They're kind of zipped up tight. And so like I had all these ideas about rock climbing when I moved out to Colorado because I just would run into these guys who were just prick. Are you allowed to say that on YouTube? I don't know, but they were just like this. They were just jerks. I met a lot of them. So in my head, I hated rock climbing. I just like it's just not nothing I want to do, nothing I'm into. But then I had these old friends, they all started climbing and they just took me out one day. And as soon as I hopped in the car with them, I felt the hugeness of the sky. And then we did the big, the hike, the approach, up the mountain to get to the climb. It's like, oh, I love this. And just putting my hand onto the rocks. It's like, I love this so much. But I'm not a good climber. Like, I'm not good. I'm not technical. I'm not like highly skilled in any certain way. But I just love it. I love it. And it's so hard on my body, like beats the hell out of me. It's rough. I'm go with a crew that's way like 1,000 miles ahead of me, but I just love it. And so I don't think about it. I just go and I love it. But it doesn't make sense. It's like not, it's probably not the best thing to do. I should just be staying home and be doing yoga or whatever. But I just follow my gut. I follow my gut. If I thought about it, I'd say this is stupid. This is a waste of time. It has all this gear and it's just a lot of work and you can't go unless you have a partner. So it's like, I could make up all these excuses you see in the head. This all just mental thought, emotional thought. But we're casting all that away. If my buddy just says, Craig, you want to go climbing? Yes. Yes. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. No thought. No thought. Drives my wife crazy. So with you, what's your next move? In what direction? So tell me what you're doing right now.
I'm trying to be open.
Trying to be open. Do you notice your throat? Is your throat happy and open? And I want everyone to pay attention to your own throat. We can all act like so it's very hard to feel the intelligence of our body, of our hara, if this guy's all closed. Because this guy, if I was Freud, I'd say this is the superego, this is the critic. It keeps the id squished down. And this thing here will say no to everything and just think, 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 think. But there's just a problem energetically with the chakras and everything. Your power is in the lower half of your body. The lower half of your body. And I don't care if you're a Zen master or you teach like dancing with the oldies or women's Zumba, your power is in the belly. So from the solar plexus down, we start having these big power centers. And when we're up in our head, we are far from our power centers. And if the throat chakra is closed, we're disconnected from our power. And in this case, I'm saying we're disconnected from our truth. So in each chakra center has a unique form of intelligence. If we're looking at our vocation, like what is my vocation going to be? You have to ask your heart and your gut. What are we doing, guys? Like, what's it going to be? You asked me when I was a little boy, little Mr. Craig Holliday, what are you going to be when you grow up? I'm going to be a priest. Yeah, a priest. That's what I'm going to be. I'm going to be a priest. It would just be like, boom, I'm going to be a priest, because that's like the only word that I knew that was true when I was a kid. Because spiritual teacher wasn't a word when I was a kid. That was not a thing in in Kentucky. Like being a spiritual teacher. No, it was like you're a priest or a pastor or something like that. A monk was a word, for that. And so I was going to be a priest or a monk. Like I just knew that, boom, that's what I'm going to be. Simple. Now the mind could come and say, well, that's not exactly right. You don't wear robes and this and that. And see, the mind will just spin circles, but the mind is so disconnected from the truth. The truth, I hate saying it this way. I need to find a better way of saying it, but the truth is stupid, simple, always. Always. I like making these short YouTube videos now because it's like, love is the way. Love is the way, peace is the way, truth is the way. That's it. But if we're thinking, we're strategizing, we're trying to plan and this and that, in the realm of vocation, we need an answer that's just like that. And the more you think, the more doubting you should experience, like the more doubt, the more confusion, the more like spread out and anxious. But the more you come down into your belly, it's just like, oh yeah, of course, this is what I'm going to do. Of course. Of course. And Johan, you know what you're going to do in your belly. Right? Isn't that the truth?
There is moments where it feels kind of clear. Yeah.
Okay. I want you to hold on to those moments. And I want you to find a way to repeat those moments through doing whatever you were doing to invoke those moments. But there's a thing that happens with truth. And you all have to forgive me because my mind is just like disappearing as I'm speaking. Like words, I'm just really having trouble finding words. When you are, the word I'm looking for is devoted. To be devoted to the truth, this will sound really silly, means to be devoted to your belly. But if you try to be devoted to the truth and you're hanging out in your head all day, you'll just have lots of ideas. They have Muji's ideas and Rupert's ideas and Adya's ideas and whoever else's, Ama's ideas. You have all these people's ideas, their expression. But if we're going to find Johan's expression, Johan's truth, you have to stay in the belly. You have to lose faith in all this stuff up here. You say, boom, I'm going to do this one thing. And it doesn't matter how I get there. What matters is you're beginning to walk in that direction. So you might say, what should I do? Am I going to do this first or that first or this and that? It's just like, I'm walking in that direction. And as you begin to walk in the direction of the truth, true things will present themselves. False things will present themselves. Stepping stones will present themselves. I had this very funny experience. So this is Friday. So Friday I'm over in Moab. And I'm out in the desert looking for a camping spot with my buddy. And I run into a wild, massive group of hippies. And, they're all at the campsite, like the campground, like the camping area. I just look for dispersed camping. I don't really like being at campgrounds, but there I saw a campground. I rolled up to it, and there's all these hippies there, and they flagged me over, and then all these like girls start like walking up and circling around my old rusty van, and they're not wearing very much clothes, and I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And some lady starts yelling at me, where's your wristband? Where's your wristband? Like, you can't come in here without your wristband. And I'm like, lady, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm just trying to camp in the desert. And she's like, you can't come in without a wristband. And I'm like, and then these girls are coming up, where's the shuttle at? Are you the shuttle? And I'm like, I am not your shuttle. And I don't know what's going on here. Like, and none of this is making sense. And they got makeup and they're all dressed up all wild. And, they're not wearing any clothes. I'm like, there's something ain't right here. And it's, they're having like a rave out in the desert, some electronic dance party or something. They came to where like where I'm climbing. I was not expecting this. And so they're having this big party. And, me and I'm, in the van with a bunch of dirty climbing guys. And it's like, what's going on here? And the guys all start running their mouths about, what the situation is. Like, guys, we're looking for the campground. We're looking for a campsite. That's the truth. We're not looking for a rave. We're not looking for any trouble. We're not looking to be tempted by the devil, by Satan. We're looking to go, we're going to camp. We're going to get up early. We're going to go climb this mountain. That's what we're doing. That's the truth. That's the truth. But when you're walking in the direction of the truth, Johan, the thing that's going to tempt you is doubt and possibilities. Doubt and possibilities are your demons. So all of us, we struggle, with whether it's lust, desire, doubts, addiction, drink, drug, whatever it is, money, success. And so on the road to the truth, it's like we're just heading forward. We're not stopping. We're not looking side to side. And all that matters is you keep moving forward. So you have a plan, you have a vision. You've told me about it, Johan, numerous times. You've looked me dead in the eye and you said, this is my truth. Let's hold on to that. But when you're on the road, if you're going to go rock climbing, we're not stopping at the electronic dance party, and doing ecstasy and being up all night, because then we're not climbing. We've lost our way. Okay, we're going forward. We're going forward. That's what we're doing. So I want you to find the quickest way forward, my friend. I want you to think the quickest way, the way that makes sense. And then also look and see, because sometimes like we really don't know the way, but what's important is that we just start walking and then the path starts to present itself. God will say, hey, let me offer something to you. Let me give you some grace. And there'll be times when God will offer you some grace. And then there'll be times when God tries to seduce you with the electronic dance party, or whatever. It's just like, no, no, no. I'm not getting involved. I'm not getting involved. I'm headed in this direction. And so on the journey toward the truth, what you'll find is if you listen to your belly at each moment of choice, the voice of your belly will grow, and it will grow in clarity and strength, and it will actually grow in expression. And by that, I mean it'll be louder. And then this voice says, should I do this or should I do that? This or that, this or that, this or that. Like I used to be plagued with it, this or that. It made me totally nuts. I used to want to just like rip my hair out because it would make me so crazy. The more you listen to the truth and you honor the truth. So when you said, I've had moments of it, You worship those moments and make those moments your Bible. This is the word of God. Johann is going to, boom, do this. You with me here, my friend? Yeah, I'm not talking too crazy tonight, right? No, just a little crazy, just a little crazy. So you stay with it. You worship this one truth in your belly, and you cast out all that thinking. You say, okay, how are we going to do this? And I want it just to be simple. To be simple. Okay, my friend? Find a way to make this simple for you. Because you're devoted to this one thing. This one thing. Everything else will straighten itself out. But there's going to be times you'll be challenged. And I want you to see, I want everyone to hear this because we all, so many of us struggle with vocation. Like, what am I supposed to do in the world? Often the archetypal map is something like this. God gives you a great vision of what God wants you to do. And that vision will feel true. It'll feel in alignment with your heart. So you'll be like, yes, I want to do this. I'm going to do it. But then right away, God will challenge you with no money, no finances, no way to pull this thing off. And so you'll be faced with doubt or confusion or despair. And through the facing of those challenges, your vision becomes strengthened. For some of us, it will be radically diminished. And we'll say, oh, I'm just going to work as an accountant for the rest of my life. And no offense to any accountants out there. I love accountants. I need an accountant. And so, we're either going to go for it, where we worship the truth and say yes, and we're going to honor our holy obligation, our holy gift, which will lead to a path of happiness and purpose and meaning. Or we'll say, no, I don't got this. And then silently we'll be feeling kind of like dead inside. But the more you walk in the direction of this, you will be challenged. And the challenge is supposed to come. So like in our head, we're thinking, well, we're being challenged. Oh, this isn't fair. This isn't right. God's not here. It's like, no, God is actively challenging you, testing you, Johann, seeing, are you going to go forward? Or are you going to keep tripping in your mind, worshiping your mind? Because when we're tripping in our head, we're literally worshiping our mind because that's where all of our time and attention is. Or are we just going to go forward? No matter if we have money or no money, whether it makes sense or doesn't make sense, whether it's a great idea or terrible idea, we go forward. We go forward. And we grow along the way. We grow in confidence. We grow in awareness. We grow in love. We grow in depth. We grow in maturity. We grow in discernment. And for you, my friend, discernment will be found through listening to your gut, where your gut will just say, boom, this. And the mind will say, but it's like, boom, this. And when you listen to boom, this only, then this voice becomes the one voice in your head. But if you give the microphone to this thing, it'll, spin you into worlds of craziness for the rest of your life. And at some point, we just have to say, no, N-O, I've had enough of listening to my own damn thoughts. So one last thing I will say, this throat chakra will tell you, don't listen to your body. Don't listen to your gut. Don't listen to your heart. Just listen to your head. Think. Doubt. Strategize, make a plan, do this, make a list, check it twice, all that stuff. Just say, going back and forth, do a pros and cons list. I love that. Pros and cons list. Be rational. The spiritual path is not rational. Human life is not rational. This world is not rational. You listen to your gut if you want to find meaning and purpose. We want to find our way. We listen to our gut. Because in our gut lives divine intelligence. Divine intelligence. And you'll know it when it comes of a higher order. It'll be like, oh, yes, of course. Yes, of course. And so we have to think of ourselves. You know, Jesus comes to us every day. Young fishermen, do you want to come with me and be, what did he call them? Fishers of men? Or do you want to be fishermen? You want to stay here and get on that silly boat every day? You want to come and have an extraordinary life? Yes, let's do it. There had to be some dudes who just said, like, no, I'm staying here. I'm casting my nets every day. That's what I'm doing. I'm not going with that crazy guy. But to follow the truth, you have to be kind to crazy and say, okay, there's something here. And you'll see, like, the truth in your belly will be really simple and basic. And it'll be like, oh, yeah, of course. And like in this meantime, like when you're in this transition stage, whether you're working in a restaurant or working as a framer is irrelevant. Irrelevant. What's relevant is, are we walking forward? And the mind can spend, so much time. Is it this or that, this or that, this or that? And that is literally a hell realm. And we need to step out of hell through simply making a decision. I'm gonna try the restaurant. Just see how it goes. See how it goes. I tried a restaurant once, twice, three times, and I was like, hell no, you'll never get me in a restaurant again. Never, ever, 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 ever. And if I am in the restaurant, I'm going to be the dish dog. Like, that's what I'm going to be doing. If I'm forced, it's just like, just sit me back there at the big Hobart machine. I'll pray to the Hobart gods and I'll wash dishes all day long. Anyways, enough messing around. Johan, so nice to see you, my friend. Yeah, much love. Okay. I saw a bunch of comments. I didn't know where they went. Okay. Anyone else? 1, 2, 3, 4. Anyone else want to share their experience, what they're doing, what they're going through? Imani Devi.
I
Hello?
don't know. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah. I'm not seeing you, but I can hear you.
You can't see me for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the interweb gods tonight, but okay, we can't see your beautiful face, but we can hear your beautiful voice. What's up? What's going on?
Maybe it'll come. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, just think about listening to your gut.
Yes? What's your gut telling you?
Well, what I've been doing is when I get this call to do something, like before, I would just, I don't know, do pros and cons, try to figure out, is this okay? How is
Yeah.
this gonna, like, I wanted to know how it would pan out.
Yeah.
Now I just do it. And I have no idea how it's gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like you said, the next step comes and then something, and I feel my life is expanding more. Like it's kind of crazy. Like I'm doing
Yeah.
all these new things and it's exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and also just the other day, it was interesting. It was me and Chris, and we were practicing this listening
Yes.
and being aware of space. So when you started talking about it, I was like, wow,
We're connected, huh?
we're very connected.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And I mean, mine's bringing forth something incredible here because what she's describing is the very process. As you listen to the yes, the steps will present themselves. And there will be like little bits of human fear where we're like, oh, Like, can I do this?
Yeah.
Should I do this? Is this the right thing? But what I love in the Catholic Church, there's always this great chant, when they're getting ready to do the Eucharist, and it's the mystery of grace. This is the mystery of grace. It's calling out to us. It's saying, come join me in this dark expanse of night. Come join me and let me show you a greater life. But he might have said a little something like I'd like to know, like, how's it going to turn out? But we don't get to know how it's going to turn out. We don't get to know. And that's why we have this thing on the spiritual path called faith. That's what Imani means, right? Faith. It's like we're walking with great faith into the darkness of the night. We're saying, okay, Lord, you show me. Life, you show me. You show me the next step. You show me how this turns out.
Yeah.
And it'll be incredible. It will be incredible because it's bringing us, like Imani said, into an expanded worldview, an expanded consciousness. But the invitation is to walk past fear, despite the fear. And by all means, I don't want anyone to get, this teaching wrong. Like if we're doing our taxes, if you're buying a new car, whatever, do the pros and cons list, do some research, check out the reviews, look at all that stuff. Like use the mind in those arenas, right? But we can do a pros and cons list all day long, even like about buying a car. But if you get in a car, you got to get in that thing and drive it. That's why they let you test drive. It's like test drive the thing and see, is this the truth? And it's like, oh yeah, this is the truth. This is the truth. This feels good. Or, oh no, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. And so when we include the body, the truth presents itself. So this is beautiful, Imani. Anything else you want to share?
Yeah, I mean, the question was, is it different than intuition? Is that like a
No.
different
So
thing?
intuition's the same way. Like intuition is trust your gut. So
Okay.
intuition like really comes out of the gut, it comes out of the heart. And it's just like, boom, it's simple. It's just there. It's just there. It's just there. And so we want to listen. We want to listen to this. And
Also, I had to let go.
Go ahead.
I said I had to let go of this thing of I don't want to make mistakes, being worried about making
Yeah,
mistakes.
because that's the thing is, as humans, we're going to make lots of mistakes.
Yeah.
We make a tremendous amount of mistakes. And on the spiritual path, we need to be very, very comfortable with mistakes because mistakes are great. They keep us humble. Because one of the things about our intuition is like some of us get really good at intuition. And then some of us can get a little cocky about it, a little arrogant about it. And there'll be times when God will literally, give you an intuition that's wrong so that you fall on your face, so that you're like, okay, like I need to have some humility here too. Because sometimes some of us get a little proud with our intuition, but we need to understand on the path, we're going to have failure after failure after failure. But when we're falling, it's just like we have to remember, like when you trip, you always fall forward. And we forget that because so many of us, we think we fall backwards. We fall forwards. You fall down, you realize, oh, I stuck my face in the mud. Let me get up. Let me wash my face off. Let me apologize to people, I hurt or got confused or whatever. And then I'm going to go forward. I'm going to go forward. And so, yeah, this is it. Intuition and listening to your belly. It's going to be one great intelligence because true intuition is just the voice of God arising in you. But we have to remember, like sometimes God will play a little game with us, where we'll be 95% right. And then, we'll have that one time when we're totally wrong. We're totally wrong. And it's like, okay, we need to have that too. And that's good too. Like that's part of the mystery of grace. That's part of the dance of being human. And that's why I really stay away from any kind of teachings on perfection, because it's like no perfection here on planet Earth. If there's any perfection, it's a very messy, wild, divine perfection that none of us can ever understand fully. Can never fully understand. But when you listen to your heart, you'll find here's when my heart is true. Then you'll find an emotional heart that's sometimes lying to us. We'll find some projections that gets mixed in there. And the whole path of spirituality, like so much of it, is discerning what is the actual truth? How am I lying to myself? How are others lying to me? Can I cut through all the BS and the nonsense and just find the good stuff? And the good stuff will always be simple. It'll always be simple and direct. And so, beautiful, Imani. Anything else?
She disappeared.
Okay, I lost Imani. We're having all kinds of internet outages today, but we're all still here though. We're all still here. Okay. Let me just take a look at the chat real quick. Okay, this is from Kyle. Kyle, Craig, can you please pray for my cousin Ben to have a successful and safe surgery, remove a tumor from his chest? It's his late 30s with two daughters, and he's a pastor. Yeah. Okay, we'll do that in a second. Let's see here. The pride in your intuition thing is so real for me. That's from Ben. Yeah. A lot of us, we have to be careful because sometimes we get a little too big for our britches on the spiritual path. And I've seen a lot of great spiritual teachers, say, okay, when the moon is full on the last day of this month, the world's going to end or something. And then it doesn't end. It's like, all right, 99% of your intuitions and your teachings and everything was right on, but then this one thing was not the thing. And sometimes God, will play a little game with us. And it's good for us to know this, that, okay, my intuition is going to be mostly right. Okay, let me hear from Lauren real quick. I'm still experiencing this sleepiness, sluggishness, emptiness thing. Some days it's neutral, some days it's tinged with sadness. Always glad that I meditated or got outside, although I struggle with motivation to do so. I had so much light and energy before, so this feels very strange. Yeah. So I want us all to acknowledge this, that here in the Northern Hemisphere, I know there's some folks that tune in from Australia, but we're headed into winter. We're headed into days of darkness. And just like we have seasons here, there's seasons on the spiritual path. And sometimes we'll go into a season of darkness, of heaviness, a season of doubt, a season of struggle. And that's part of the path. Sometimes we do every single thing right, everything right. And we just go downhill. We just go downhill into the dark night of the soul, or, a dark night, or maybe a couple months of dark nights, where things are really rough and depressed and confused. But I'm going to encourage you, Lauren, to embrace it, to open to it, to lean into it. Like whenever I find something like, all mangled up inside and confused and hurting, I'm like, oh, what is that? What is that thing? I'm going to lean into that. I'm going to get to know that. I'm going to say, hey, you, what's going on there? Why are you struggling? Why are you suffering? How can I help you? You need some love. Do you need some peace? Do you need some silence? And I'm really going to listen to it. And so you mentioned sleepiness, sluggishness, those are often signs of resistance, and those are signs of unconscious resistance. So don't take that personally. So sometimes, like when there's something in us that we need to face, we'll get a little sleepy and sluggish and, maybe a little distracted. And it's like, oh no, I need to wake right up and look directly at that thing and see, what is this thing that's bringing me down? And what you pointed out here is you said, and then there's this emptiness thing. Some days it's neutral. Some days it's tinged with sadness. So you're saying tinged. I like that word. That's a fun word. I want you to see if you can find a depth of sadness in it. To walk into the direction of sadness and see, like, hey, what am I sad about? What am I hurting? Like, what's here that's hurting? Can I welcome this forward and really get to know it and really allow it, invite it to grieve? I found so many layers of grief within me, from when I was 3 or 6 or 8 or 10 or 15 or 26 or 35 or whatever. I'll just lean into that thing and just like almost like wringing it out, like it's an old wet rag until there's no more tears there. By wringing it out, I mean, I'm going to feel every bit of it. This is like a tantric intimacy with it. And feeling it, just letting it grieve and letting it grieve. And there's a funny thing that happens when we chase sadness and we allow ourselves to grieve fully. Oftentimes we find just this tremendous new energy and aliveness within us. But when we resist sadness, we should expect to feel, sleepy and, just start, I love it when people are meditating. I see them going, it's like nodding out. It's like, okay, what's going on there in them? I mean, sometimes meditation is just boring, but oftentimes there's something there that they like get a glimpse of and like, oh no, I should just focus on peace and avoid this thing. And then they nod out to sleep. I want you to lean into it. Okay. Let's see. Okay. People write some more. Anne writes, when I allow danger to pass through me without resistance, I find that it cannot hurt me. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like we let it all pass through us. Just all move through us. And then you'll see, oh, look, it didn't hurt me. It can't hurt me. It was just a thought, a memory, a vision, a this, or that, an entity, a demon, all these wild things can move through us. But none of it can hurt our consciousness. It can definitely scare us, but it can't hurt us. But it's from which point do you identify? Are we identified as the scared one? Or the one who is open, and knowing ourselves as openness itself. Okay, let's do that's one last thing for Benjamin, and we'll do a prayer here. So I'm realizing I have I have subconsciously known that God throws me a dud via my intuition 5% of the time. Problem is my mind goes crazy about this, following my tuition every time and blocks my access to my intuition, worried it's the 5% this time. Any advice other than just follow it every time and count your losses? Yeah, so the thing that I'm going to invite, Ben, is when you feel into the depth of your belly, what you'll find is there's a quiet trust here and a quiet strength here that just knows the best way, the highest way, is going to be listening to our gut, listening to our intuition. And even if we're wrong occasionally, it's okay. It's all going to be okay. So the more you can open into the depth and the strength, like the inherent okayness of your being, Ben, you'll find a greater sense of strength where this thing that you're describing of like counting your losses is going to just be like simple. It's going to be like no big deal if we're wrong every now and then. But when we're holding on real tight and tense and like from an insecure perspective to our intuition, say, I got to be right. I got to know. It's like, that's not how life is. That's not how life is. We're never going to get life right all the time. We're always going to have some fails, some mistakes, some, just drop the ball, fumble. It's part of being human. And if we can relax into that and trust that it's all okay. You make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. And it's totally okay. It's okay. You're okay. We're okay. It's hardwired into the fabric of life. Mistakes are just part of the deal, part of the dance, part of the journey. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to invite us all just to close our eyes. And as a song, we're going to pray for Kyle's cousin, Ben. We're going to invite him to have a successful and safe surgery. May he be blessed. May he be uplifted. May all his angels be with him and surround him in grace and light and love. May he come out of this a healthy, happy, healed, wonderful Father here on planet Earth. May he be blessed. May he be loved. May his body be well. May the doctors be guided. May the nurses, the surgeons, all those taking good care of him, be flooded with light. The whole operating room, all those around him. May his daughters, his wife be relaxed, peaceful, and at ease. May the truth prevail. We're going to invite this blessing to shine out to the rest of planet Earth. May humanity awaken to their highest light, their highest love, their highest truth. May humanity join us in this exploration of intuition, coming to know God's voice in us and as us, so we may fully serve God's grace, God's will here on planet Earth. May all the wars, the violence, the craziness, insanity of this world be flooded with peace, light, love, and truth. May the violence end. May truth prevail. May love prevail. Okay. Such a blessing to be with each of you. So much love. We'll see y'all soon. See you next time. Bye for now.